Hello everyone. Welcome to our video on charting the life course, the one-page person-centered description. My name is Barb Safaris and I am an Ohio ambassador for Charting the Life course. I work for the Family Resource Network of Ohio, located at the Nisonger Center at The Ohio State University. I also work for the National or Nexus team for Charting the Life course at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. A little bit about me. I'm from the Northeast Ohio area and have worked with people with disabilities, their families, and professionals for over 45 years. I am also a sibling. I had two younger brothers. My youngest brother, Nick, had a developmental disability, and my middle brother, Jim, had an acquired disability as a result of an accident in his 30s. In this video, I'm going to share what the one-page person-centered description is, when you might use it, how you would develop it, and the impact of using a one-page person-centered description. You will have resources, the PowerPoint, and also a one-page person-centered description template for your reference. All the presentations on Charting the Life course in Ohio are presented by the Family Resource Network of Ohio and funded through a grant from the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. So let's talk about the power of words. One of the things that family members, we've all learned, is that when people talk about the people we love, they use words that talk about their disabilities, what they can't do, how needy they are, and how they are not independent. We want to shift and look at the words we use, because the words we use convey our values and belief. So we don't want to talk about people in the frame of their disabilities. We want to talk about their qualities. We don't want to talk about how needy they are. We want to talk about how they contribute to their community. And we don't use the word independent because none of us are independent in our life. We are all interdependent. And we want to talk about how to best support people. The one-page person-centered description is a way to shift the way we talk about people, to move away from being disability-focused to being human-centric. So there are 3 sections on the one-page person-centered description. The first section is like and admire, where we talk about the person's qualities. Not what they do, but who they are. So the second section is what's important to me. That's an important section because what's important to us defines our quality of life. And then the third section talks about how to best support me. I also strongly suggest that you include a photograph of the person because then it makes the person real. And I don't use the template that you see on the screen or that you have in your resources. I typically encourage people to just use a Word document and add pictures, icons, memes, whatever's meaningful to the person. So let's look at the first section, like and admire. That's really, again, talking about their qualities. A lot of times we need to remind people what their qualities are because they've never heard their qualities. So on the slides, there is a whole list of qualities. You know, what do you like and admire? Is your loved one funny? Are they loving? Are they caring? We'll talk more about them as I show you some examples. Second section is what's important to me. And you can look at this in many different ways. I'm going to show you 8 categories to consider that come from the Learning Community for Person-Centered Practices. Important too are not just likes and preferences, but what needs to be present in someone's life for them to feel satisfied, fulfilled, content. So these are really quality of life areas. too often we just stop with likes and preferences. So I like Diet Pop. I prefer Diet Coke to Diet Pepsi, but I don't have to have those in my life every day. Now, I do have to have my coffee in the morning, the coffee that I make, not Starbucks, not McDonald's, not Dunkin' Donuts. So think about these 8 areas. What's important to people as far as people to be with in relationships? And we're not looking for generic terms like family and friends, but who specifically? Status and control. When I ask people with disabilities, what is important to you as far as your status and control? It's having their own apartment. It's having their own money. It's having a job. Things to do and places to go, pretty clear. Rituals and routines. We all have routines. We get up, we get ready, we go somewhere, we eat our meals, we come home, we go to bed. In those routines, what's important to people? They need to use special products when they get up in the morning? Do they have to have a certain foods at breakfast? I like to drink my coffee out of a specific mug, and that's really important to me because it keeps my coffee hot and it gives me a lot of coffee. Rhythm or pace of life. Are you a morning person? Are they a night person? Do they move slowly or do they move fast and multitask? Things to have. Pretty clear. And then purpose and meaning. What do people look forward to? What do they feel is important in their life that makes them feel good about themselves? And usually people will share. They help other people. They might help their family. They might help their friends. They might help people at their work or at their day program. And so usually that's what they say. Third section, how to best support me. So we're not talking about what people need help with or what they can't do, but what do other people need to do? So one woman developed a one-page person-centered description as a way to introduce herself to her employer. And what she said is, when you teach me something new, tell me, show me, watch me, and then tell me how I did. So it's not, I have a hard time following multi-step directions, but this is what you need to do to help me. Other people, don't tell me what to do, give me 2 choices. Many of us may like that too. Don't tell me what to do, give me some choices. Or remind me to wear headphones in a noisy place. Here's a one-page person-centered description for my brother Nick. Some of the things you'll notice, first of all, it's not a template, it's just a Word doc. You see that it doesn't say Nick Safaris, it says Nick the Greek because that's what he liked to be called. You see there's a photo, he's in a convertible, it's not mine, it was a friend's, but Nick loved all sorts of cars, especially riding in a convertible, so that's the picture he wanted on his one-page description. Under great things about him or what people like and admire, the first item is ornery because that's what my mother, even until she died at 95, would tell me. Your brother is ornery. Under important too, very specific, talking to me every day. Our Greek culture, traditions, and religion. Listening to his music loudly. Having his hair styled. Wearing comfortable, stylish clothes, and going to the bar and having his 7-7 while he watched the Indians games, which I know are now the Guardians. Under how to best support, this is what other people need to do. You see it's in quotes because he said these things. So don't ever put things in quotes or use the pronoun I if the person didn't say it. So some examples, use a spoon to feed me, put the food on my left side between my teeth. Don't read over my shoulder. I can hear and understand you. Don't yell or use a parent voice. I'm old enough to be your father. Here's a one-page person-centered description for Tyler. So you see Tyler's a child, but his parents used a Word doc, put his photo, but also have all sorts of dinosaur pictures on this. So anyone meeting Tyler, if they're given this, know exactly how to start talking and interacting with Tyler. We've also learned recently that it's really important for people to have a one-page person-centered description when they go to the hospital. And this is written specifically for the hospital. Family members, I know you keep vigil, but we leave the room sometimes and people come in and out of that hospital room. I tell people to post the one-page person-centered description above the bed, over the bed, so that anyone walking in the room can look at it and read it. The information, of course, has got to be meaningful for the hospital. So like and admire can be the same, but what's important to the person in the hospital? Maybe it's having the remote. Maybe it's having a comfort item, their iPad, their favorite blanket, a stuffed animal. Maybe it's introduce yourself when you walk in the room and tell me why you're there. Or having their cell phone. How to best support. This may be different in a hospital. Show them how to use the call button, how they can be positioned in bed, how they might show pain, or how they might show that they're anxious if they cannot tell you with their words. Maybe the best way to give them their medication and who to call if they want some help. So again, same picture for Nick. Now it's for the hospitalization. What's important to him when he was in the hospital was to talk with me every day, and if he had to make a decision, that they call me. And so I would have put my phone number. Tell me what you're doing and who you are. And our Greek Orthodox religion, he would want to see the priest. Because Nick used a laptop with voice output to communicate, he couldn't use that if he was in bed. So under how to best support, ask me yes/no questions. I'll either nod or move my eyebrows. Give me my pills and ice cream. Leave the TV on because he couldn't handle the remote. He couldn't operate the remote. And really critical, he couldn't feel pain on his right side. And you know that every time someone walks in a room, they ask, what's your pain level, 0 to 10? Well, he couldn't tell if he had pain on his right side. So people needed to know that. So why would we use a one-page person-centered description? It's a quick way to introduce someone. It's a quick summary, one page. It really has helped people with their self-esteem when people start talking about what they like and admire. And if someone is in the transition age range, they can also learn how to give accommodations, how to support them, how to help them. People have used one-page person-centered descriptions for hospital, for when they're looking for a job as a job seeker, part of their resume. It can be used when they interview providers, and it can be used when they're meeting roommates or housemates. People can have several one-page person-centered descriptions for different environments. So one for doctor's appointments, one for maybe school. A lot of parents will develop a one-page every year at the beginning of the school year and send it with their child to everybody who works with their child. So our vision for one-page person-centered descriptions is that people and families develop them, that it's human-centric, it doesn't talk about the disability at all, and that it's developed for a purpose. And it can be handed to people as a quick way to be introduced to someone. What we don't want is that it includes demographic information, their birthday, their diagnosis, the medication they take. That's not what this is about. This is about who is this human being. So in conclusion, I'll share some websites. They're on the PowerPoint for the Family Resource Network of Ohio, LifeCourseTools.com, the Ohio Developmental Disabilities Council, and the Department of Developmental Disabilities. Thank you for listening, and I hope you find this information helpful for you and your family.